guys, if you're new here, my name's Sandy. I do crafts. Well, I usually do crafts. If you're joining me again, welcome. This is part 2 of I don't know, I did a big international move, and since 90% of the things I own are craft supplies, and I like looking at other people's stuff, I figured, why not? So, I have another box here. I have, again, no idea, because I packed these in like October, so I don't know what's in what and what's where, but ooh. Also, housekeeping notes, I have a budgie. His name is Cooper Petey, so if you hear fun little chirps, that's what that is. So, what do I have in here? Ooh, okay. I have, this is my husband. This is also one of the first times I'm filming with him in the house. So he's watching a show, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so lighter fluid for the barbecue lighters. Ooh, these. I got these in bulk. I got 200 of them. They're just the plastic sleeves. They have dividers and everything. I like storing my patterns in these, because when you cut them, you can never get them back in the envelope, but you can fold them nicely, put them in here, and put them in a binder, and they keep your patterns really nice. If I have a paper pattern, I don't cut it, I trace it, and then I do all my alterations. So also I'll put the tracing in as well. So I always have that, or I'll put them in a separate one behind it. It keeps your patterns really, really organized, and it saves you the absolute, complete, and total frustration at having to try to fold those patterns back. Like, you'd think that's something we would have solved. I, once again, do not know where I'm putting things. So, okay, I have a random notebook, and printer paper. I currently do not have a printer, but printer paper comes in handy for everything, doesn't it? I have a laundry hamper that we've been waiting for. So I'm just going to throw that. That probably was not a good idea. Okay, so now into the actual craft stuff. I have a box of, oh, I have my creme brulee torch. That'll be good. Yeah, this is mostly craft stuff, but we were kind of just throwing everything we could into boxes, and it ended up being a lot of everything. So, this is some fabric I bought at Till the Sun Goes Down. Till the Sun Goes Down is a fabric shop based out of the UK. They do a lot of vintage and a lot of designer dead stock. Well, not a lot of designer dead stock, but you can get some like dead stock vintage. So I have some pure, this is 100% silk. The fabric is beautiful, honestly. It makes me so sad that Brexit happened, because I miss them. So this is some beautiful silk. I think it's only about 1 meter if I remember correctly. I wanted to make this like Chanel top out of it. But I think now what I might do is I might make another sleeping bonnet, because I like to sleep with my hair in silk, which, honestly, look it up, because it's so good, especially like a silk pillowcase is so good for your skin and hair. It's not a new thing, Black women have been doing this forever, but it really does make a difference, especially if you have fine hair, because I find sometimes I get like thinny bits here, and it's almost completely stopped that from the friction. So yeah, so that might be this one's fate. Or maybe I'll make a scarf, but the thing is I'm changing my neutral from black to brown, so it's kind of like, I'm even tempted to start lining my wool hats in silk for the winter, because apparently when you do that, it helps your hair as well, and silk doesn't hold static as much, and it's very dry here, so as such it is incredibly staticky. And then this one, I remember, I bought at the same time. This one was very exciting. It is actually, it's 2 meters, but it's actually from Valentino. Like, it's real Valentino fabric. I've been trying to find the season. I've looked back in their shows a lot. I don't know what the content of it is. Oh, 69% CO, which one I guess is cotton, 28% poly PA, So I don't know what that is, and 3% polyester. So maybe polyamide, but it's not a natural fiber, but it's really nice. I want to find something nice to do with it because it's so pretty and it's designer. But I mean, I got excited. I'd had a few drinks and I needed to have it. It's Valentino. So yeah, so that will go with my fabric when I figure out where I'm putting my fabric. And then we have, oh, this box is all fabric. Another box that I recognize. So this is wool. This is from a shop called So Irish, but like SEW Irish. I find in Ireland they're the best place to get wool because they're like, it's not cheap because first off, wool isn't like good wool is never cheap. And fabric in Ireland in general is very, very expensive. So, let's get that, there we go. Yeah, fabric in Ireland in general is very, very expensive. So, yeah, like, I don't know, I wanted to start sewing with more wool. So I went a little crazy and bought a bunch, and now I'm not sure about it. So I have this, which again, 100% wool. But yeah, they're not cheap, but for Ireland, I think they're really reasonable for wool, and it's good wool. This one, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with. I bought it, but I don't know if I like me in charcoal as much anymore. I'm trying to move away from gray. However, my husband looks excellent in gray, so, and he just looked at me. This might turn into a jacket or vest for him. He just nodded. Then I have this one, which I like because I think the pink is really interesting in it. It's also 100% wool. Maybe, actually, I think I could get away with that. What do we think? This is natural lighting. I don't have any lights on in here. So, maybe. I would like to make, I mean, I need a new coat, but I have another one. There is hints of the, like, kind of rust in it. Like, there's some burnt orange tones, which look really good on me. And I do tend to look good in pink. Maybe I'll make this something for myself. Maybe a skirt and a jacket set. Because there is quite a bit of it. And again, like, I have so much of this stuff because this is the kind of thing when we had a bit of a budget in lockdown. I think I talked a lot about this in the last video, but we had a budget during lockdown because we weren't going out. So my fun was like drinking wine and buying fabric online. Which turned out well for me now. Because I sort of have a mini fabric store. But it was before I like figured out more my colors. Well, I had my colors figured out. It's just it's not the same as what I thought. Ooh, I just saw something in the box that looks interesting. I'm just not sure if I'm still so inclined. Oh, these I bought. Okay, so these are two fabrics I bought specifically to make pants for my husband. So this one, this is cotton, I think. So I'm like 99% sure this is 100% cotton. It feels cotton, but it's just like a nice suiting weave, kind of. So yeah, it's just simple plain. I want to make him pants for work. Same with these ones in a navy. And these two colors actually look very good on him, so yeah. 2 pairs of pants for you. He nods in approval. Ooh, good, there's the packing slip, so I actually know how much I have. So the gray tweed, I have 3 meters. And that's all that was in this. But yeah, like when I say that wool is expensive, I mean those 3 meters cost €84. Like that's a lot of money for 3 meters of fabric. However, it's 100% wool. So it's like, I mean, I want to do a whole video about this because it's actually something I'm very passionate about. Like if you were to say, okay, like a blazer from Penny's or from Primark or from somewhere like Zara or something, people would balk at paying €80 for it. They'd be like, oh, that's so expensive, that's rip off. But I mean, you're still going to pay for like a Zara H&M blazer. You're still going to pay somewhere between like 40 and 60. And that's polyester. It's probably not going to last very long. The seams aren't going to be covered or French seamed, you know? So at least when I make something, like, I don't compare myself to polyester. I compare myself to the price of like a really good quality, like, designer item. So, you know, a designer 100% wool jacket, and even a lot of designers aren't using 100% wool anymore. A lot of them cut their stuff with synthetics. You'd be looking more in the range of 400 to 500, or even just like a classic tailor, you'd be looking more 400 to 500 euro. So realistically, even though yes, 84 is a lot of money, I am saving money, you know. And there's the issue of how much is my time worth. And again, the reason fast fashion is so cheap is not just because they use bad materials, but also they pay nothing for the labor, so, or they pay very low. For me, it's also fun, so there's kind of that. But yeah, just like don't compare yourself when you make things to crappy things, because you're making good things. Yeah, look at the fiber content, especially with materials. Because again, like 80 quid is cheap compared to, it's expensive compared to Zara, but it's like cheap compared to something you'd get at like Savile Row or something. So cannot think of a good menswear designer right now. And also you get exactly what you want, which for me is very much the key. These are Adam's little ball things. Put those there. Twill tape. I was looking for this for ages. I'm actually happy I found it because I'm going to make myself a coat for next year out of some of the wool. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that pink wool. That could actually be fun. But when you sew with heavy wools, you want to stabilize your seams with this because sometimes it can stretch out. And so if you tape a cotton like twill tape to it, it just stabilizes the seam, keeps it from stretching, especially if it's hanging because wool is very heavy. So it's good I found that, and I'm happy I bought it in bulk. I have just some felt. Oh, this is from when we were, for Halloween one year, Roger Rabbit and Jessica Rabbit, and so I made Adam little like ears, rabbit ears out of that. Interfacing scraps. It's gonna be a lot of interfacing scraps. The thing with interfacing scraps though is you always need them because sometimes, like for facing, you I don't think this is the best quality interfacing. I think that can go. But sometimes you'll need to scrap like that big for something small, so it's always good to keep your facings of your interfacings. There's more interfacing. Interfacing, yeah, like that could be used for something because it's small enough. Yeah, interfacing is one of those weird things that you always need but never seem to have. It's a bit small. Oh, I have a bin bag right here. Yeah, if it tears apart like that though, there really is no point, is there? A zipper. Cool. I might use one of just a bag and make a bag of zippers. Okay, let's see. These scraps are for the scrap. So when I have scraps really small like this, if I can't like English paper piece with them, what I do is I cut them into really, really small bits and I make stuffing. So what I'm making, like, I'm knitting the beekeeper's quilt, or I'm like, if I make a toy or something, I just use this as stuffing. It's nicer than, it's still got a good squish, especially when it's really small, but it just, I don't know, the polyester fiberfill, I find, first off, it's polyester, like, meh. Secondly, and polyester does have some good qualities, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to, I've been accused of being a snob about polyester, and kind of am. I just find that a lot of the fiberfill, like the polyfiberfill, especially if you get the cheap one, it compacts over time. So like you make a pillow, like even this pillow that I made is good, but you can tell it's polyester because it compacts, and it used to be a little fluffier. This is actually the first thing I ever embroidered, so I love it. But it can compact over time. It doesn't fluff up the way. And I find sometimes it compacts lumpy. So I just prefer, I find that at least the fabric scraps, you can kind of move them around a bit. I think they stay a little nicer. And to be honest, this is something I have. This is free. So, you know. Why buy something if you don't have to? Okay, so this is a faced piece. I cut this dress. I did not cut the right size. I don't know if I love the dress in general. So this piece is faced. I don't know where half the things are. I think I've cut into them to do other things. I think I'm going to call it, and here's the actual dress, call it on the dress. And, well, but then again, maybe I'm so close. Like, what is that facing even for? The neck is faced. Was that an arm facing? I don't think this will fit me. I don't think it ever did because my hips are... Oh, me? Well, I don't know. I do like it. Sort of. I mean, if I belted it and it has pockets. Maybe this I will just... But I don't know where the sleeve facings are because that's not a sleeve facing, is it? That's a neck facing, but the entire neck is faced. If I can figure out something for the sleeves. How long is it? It's not as long as I like to wear now, too. I don't know what to do with this one. Well, if I have enough fabric to cut something else out of it, I might, like maybe a top, because I do like this fabric, and I actually like this blue on me. I think it's an alright color for me. So we'll think about that. We will see. Because again, if I don't have sleeve facing, what's the point? And I did this, we were still living in Cork at the time, so it was ages ago, so it's not like I'm going to be able to find anything. But I have a top pattern that needs cotton, and it's not super fabric heavy, so maybe. More interfacing. Why do I keep buying interfacing when I have so much of it? And moreover, why do I have so much white interfacing? I never sew with like light colors. I just don't wear a lot of light colors. I prefer the darker spectrum, but there you go. And it's not honestly the most important thing, but if you do have, sometimes like you can get away with it. It's not something that's gonna be like a thing, but if you do the white under, sometimes you can see it under. It's like when you're wearing a nude shirt with a or a white shirt, you should wear a nude color bra, because if you wear a white bra under it, you can really tell. So it just, or like a black shirt with a white bra, sometimes you can see the white under and it just doesn't look. Anyway, I hope that made sense. I just have some cotton muslin. Actually, I need pocket linings I have jeans, so this is going to be good for that. White cotton muslin, you can't go wrong, or the natural cotton look. Oh, I actually remember what I bought this for. This is cotton sateen. Don't know if I love this print on me, but I might go with it anyway, because I bought it to do a cute little just like half top, so when I wear high-waisted skirts and stuff I can put it with it, or if I want to wear a dress as a skirt. But I really like this fabric, but I might also use it for a different top, because I don't know. We'll see. I don't have a lot of it. This is probably at the most like 1.5 meters, but it's cute. It's a very pretty fabric. Like, that's nice, you know? And it's a cotton sateen, so it has that gorgeous, like, I don't know, cotton sateen is such a good fabric. Because when you have, like, a normal cotton, like something like this, it's done, they weave it, like, one by one. But when you have a sateen like this, they skip a few threads. So it's kind of like you get the vibe, I mean, it drapes beautifully. And you sort of get the vibe of the satin without it being satin. I don't love satin. I don't even particularly love the feel of it, to be honest. I know some people think it's so nice, but it just, to be fair, this is standard. Most of the satin we get now is that really cheap polyester. And I just think, I don't know. even in silk, like I had my grad dress was the Dupioni silk, the raw silk that had that kind of roughness to it. And I think that's just a lot nicer than a silk satin. I think it's a lot more luxurious. But yeah, I actually like this. It'll be cute. And I need summer tops because I realized I got rid of all mine because I don't like, well, I didn't like them. So trying not to keep things I don't like. This, oh, ooh, this was for my birthday, speaking of satin. This is actually just straight up, Adam got me this, I think, for my birthday or for Christmas one year. This is just straight up silk, like black silk satin. This I'm going to make us pillowcases out of. So I'm thinking, because I like 2 pillows. So what I'm thinking I'll do is I'll make the face of the pillow this, and then the back of the pillow just cotton. And that way I might be able to get, for ideally 6 pillowcases, because then you want to always have at least, even if you're just a 1-1 pillow. Well, my back pillow doesn't need to be silk, so I want to get 4 at a minimum. That way 1 for each of us to sleep on. And then we can wash it. And then, you know, because anytime you have sheets, you always want to have at least 2 sets so that they can wash. I mean, we don't have a dryer, and even then I would never put silk in a dryer. I bought a silk pillowcase for the first time when I was like 25, 26. And I loved it. And it lasted, to be fair, until I was like 30. So I got my worth out of that. Yeah, I think I have enough for 4 pillowcases here. I think this entire video is just going to be a display of how bad I am at folding fabric. But, alas. Yeah, so it's literally just black silk satin plain, which is what I wanted. Because any satin, even fake satin, is going to be better to sleep on for your hair because it gives it the slippiness. But for your skin, I mean, there's a lot of reasons silk is good. So first off, one of them is because silk doesn't absorb the way cotton does. So your skincare will stay on your skin more because the silk won't, like, grab it. I mean, I think the best way to feel it is when you knit with 100% cotton and your hands just get very dry. And wool and silk don't do that. So, yeah, so there's that. And then there's also the slippiness, so it doesn't, like, pull, so it helps, it can help prevent wrinkles. But all that aside, the best thing about silk is it is the most thermoregulating fabric. So it'll stay cool. And, yeah, like when you wear silk, it keeps you cool in the summer and it keeps you warm in the winter. It's amazing. Silk is so insanely good. Same with wool, actually. Wool is very thermoregulating. But yeah, if you sleep with a silk pillowcase, the pillow stays cooler, I found, in my experience. So even if it's not about vanity, a cold pillow is always what you want. This. A friend wanted me to make her something, so I bought some cheap silk satin. And see what I mean? You can actually, this is a really good example. You can tell the difference in quality. People say, like, polyester is just as good, but look at the difference in quality. Like, it just, you know, this, anyway, she wanted me to make something for her, but she never got back to me with specifications, never paid me back for this. I think what I might use this for is I want to make slips, because I actually prefer wearing a slip under a dress. I think it looks so much nicer, and I want to do them in silk, but before, obviously, I cut into silk, I want to make a mock-up. I also want to do one in linen, because I think in the summer, wearing a linen slip would be so comfortable. I don't know, it'll be like a one-up for my emotional support tank tops. But yeah, so I want to make a few of those, so I think I'll try it in these first. You know what I could use this for? One of my friends is a drag queen, and they want me to make them, like, a robe. Ooh, actually, I might use that for that. I mean, they want me to knit one, but I'm like, honey, you're just too tall. I'm not doing that. And then I have... Oh, okay. So if you watched the last video of me doing this, I love old bed sheets for pajamas. I think it's something you've relegated it to bedtime use anyway. Like, I don't know how I feel about using old sheets for day clothes, because it just feels, I don't know, it just feels like sheets are for bedtime. I get why you would, And even like sometimes for mock-ups they're good, but if you're not working with an equivalent weight or an equivalent fabric for mock-up, you're not going to get the right kind of thing anyway. So yeah, but I love these for pajamas, just basic. Oh, and a little polka dot scrap flew out of there. That actually, no, it's not big enough for English paper piecing. Yes, this is, I mean, it's not an old bed sheet. This one was barely used. We got, we had in the house we rented in Kinsale and the house we bought in Cork both had like single bedrooms. So we always kept a single sheet set. And then when we moved into the apartment, we only had 2 double rooms. I think it's always good to have like a single duvet and a single duvet cover and extra pillows, because if someone needs to sleep on the couch, it's just nicer to have a proper duvet. But I'm not going to put a flat sheet on the couch, so this is pajamas now. And then we have, this is just plain back cotton. I think I bought it to line something, so that always comes in handy as a lining. Yeah, again, I want to move away from black in my wardrobe, but as a lining, it works, and it's actually a really good quality material, so. It's tough, though. I used to wear a lot of black, and don't get me wrong, I look good in black, but I look great in brown, so, you know, gotta step it up a little bit. Yeah, so, all up, that's what was in there. So much interfacing. So, I don't know where I'm going to put all that, but that's 5 minutes into the future of me's problem. Okay. If I do this like a little box, a little table. Okay, so next we have, this was my carry-on back from Dublin. I actually love this bag. And if you're wondering what this has to do with anything, first off, I'm notoriously bad at unpacking. I hate it, but this one's different. Well, first off, I have my jewelry in here, so let's take that out. Just a bracelet and a necklace, which I will untangle later. But also, this, literally, my entire carry-on was just yarn. I had like that and a book, and like I put my jacket in here and the stuff I bought at the duty free. And it's mostly sock yarn. I have a skein of a project I'm working on now. That will live over there, because I brought my knitting on the plane, as I do. So here we have, okay, we have a lot of sock yarn. It's mostly socks. So I have this one, which is, I had another one, actually, of this, because this was a, I used this to exhaust a dye bath, and then I exhausted it further, so I actually got 5 skeins. The second one came out a very bright orange. Well, actually, that's all right here, so yeah, I need to open this up anyway, so I will be right back. I'm just going to rearrange. Okay, we're back. This is the double storage ottoman that I did yesterday, or the other day in the last video. So what I've done with this is this one has 2 compartments in the top. And yeah, so on one side I have yarn to dye, and one side I am hoping I can fit on my sock yarn, but looking at this bag, it's doubtful. But yeah, so this is the other one of that. I did 2 of these, exhausted the dye pot with this, and then after these were done, I put this in, and I got this color. This one I think I'm going to use as a dye mop since I don't love it, but this I really love. I think it'll be a cute, like, classic sock. So yeah, that's the epic tale of those. I have another one of these. I talked about this last time. These were, I actually dyed this myself. I kind of did it as like a, inspired by the ghost plants in Ireland, because you have all along the countryside these beautiful plants. I mean, they're beautiful, but they're kind of ugly when you get close. You know what I mean? And they're green and they're yellow and they just dot the countryside. And they're stunning, and they're kind of like they always sort of have flowers. Like, there's an expression that kissing is out of fashion when the ghost is not in bloom. So, yeah, and so I thought that, but then Adam saw them and was like, green and gold, that's Australia. So luckily I dyed 2. So he's going to get some Australia socks, and I will get me some, whatever I want socks. So these are actually, I dyed these with either Weld or Woad. I still do not know which one. But they're natural dye kits. They're from the Apple Oak Fiberworks. And usually in the Apple Oak Fiberwork kits, you get like enough to do 3 skeins, and usually there's a modifier. So I've been doing 1 normal, 1 modified, and 1 half and half. But there just wasn't in this kit, which was a little annoying. But apparently, whichever one this is, if you over dye it with indigo, that's how they actually got that Robin Hood green. So I have my 1 I'm saving, and then 1 I'm going to over dye completely, and then 1 I'm going to do half and half with the indigo when I get to the indigo. Oh, this skein, I'd always wanted hedgehog fiber yarn, and I bought this one in Cork where it's based. This was my 30th birthday sock yarn. Yeah, I like buying sock yarn every birthday because, I don't know. I like buying expensive sock yarn, but you need sometimes to justify it. Especially hedgehog fibers, they're so expensive, but the yarn is great. So I've heard this is the only thing I bought from them. So yeah, this one is in Hawk. It's on their sock base that's 90% merino, it's superwash, and 10% nylon. So yeah, I'm gonna make a pair of socks with these. I mean, I bought them for my 30th birthday, so it's only been 3 years. So that's, I have 2 years before it's kind of like dice, you know? To be fair, I do have yarn I've hoarded for longer, so what can you do? Ooh, this guy's falling apart. I talked about this one in the last video as well. I tried to dye it. This one I dyed. I dyed as a part of a class. I tried to do like a sort of, it's sparkly, but I don't know if you can see it in this light. I tried to do sort of like a walking through a castle at night, and then there's lights and candles, and yeah, and it didn't exactly turn out that way, and I really hated it when I first dyed it, but I've actually come around to it now, and I don't think it's that bad. I was going to over dye it just straight like black with silver sparkles, but I think I might actually give it a shot. I'll give it a go. I'll knit some socks with it and see how they go. I'm much more adventurous with my socks than I am with my clothes. Like, that's actually kind of pretty when you look at it like that. Than I am with my clothes, because I figure socks nobody really sees. So like, I love pastels, but they just do not look good on me. So it's nice knowing that when I wear socks, I can wear pastels. This is a sport weight. This isn't sock yarn. This is the first yarn I ever dyed. It was on a Craftsy class. I think I might just do that Craftsy class completely again because I don't remember where I was in it. And I just don't remember, to be honest. It's been a while. I'm a bit of a procrastinator. But I love this yarn. I love this color. I think this is like the perfect color for me. Like, I love it. This is my absolute favorite color. So yeah, it's like nice jewel tone berry color. So very excited. Can't wait to knit with this. These are 2 skeins I have left over from when I made my very first nephew his set. So these are Cotton Soft Rico Baby yarns. For my friends, I always do a little sweater and a little hat. And then for my family, I do the whole layette set. So I'm currently making one for my niece that's coming next month. So I'm very excited about that. But yeah, these are the ones for her brother. So maybe I'll knit him. I think I have another one of these too. Maybe I'll knit him like a little hat for his like grown-up self now. Well, not grown-up, but like, you know. I like to include when I make a baby gift for somebody with younger siblings, or like it's their first time having a younger sibling, or even if it's their second, I like to include a gift to say like congratulations on being a big brother or sister, because it, like, I remember when my little cousins were around, it was kind of like, oh, okay, I guess they get all the, you know? And even my brother said it was tough for him when I came because it was just kind of like, oh, like, she gets everything. So I think it's nice. And it is a big deal. Like, even, I'm really close to my cousins. So for me, it was sort of like becoming a big sibling in a way. And yeah, I think it's nice to celebrate that. Like, especially with siblings, you know? Like, it's a big deal. Ooh, these I bought. I bought on Love Crafts because they were going, honestly, I think I needed to put a extra stuff on to get free shipping, and these were on sale. So they are 75% wool, 25% polyamide. If you just heard a little Australian accent expletive, my husband apologizes. I don't think it was loud enough that it'd pick up though. But yeah, so these are Millimia of Sweden. Again, I love this color. I love a cranberry. Yeah, and they're good. I got him like a kind of olive green pair, and I made him socks out of them. And he's had them for a couple years now. They've held up extremely well. So I'm actually really impressed. And as I remember, this was a very affordable yarn. Yeah, because I think it was, I ordered a bunch of stuff and I got free shipping. Then I had a coupon. So I just threw some of these on. Yeah, but they are, these are 50-gram balls. So they, yeah, they're 50-gram balls. So they just kind of don't. I mean, okay, realistically, especially if you make short socks, you can get 2 pairs of socks out of 100 grams. So you could get a pair of short socks out of this, but I don't like to risk it. And I figure any leftover finger wing weight yarn I can use for like my beekeeper's quilt. I can use if I do color work socks. Yeah, so it's to me never a bad thing to have more sock weight. And also it's fun too when you have 2 50-gram balls, because then this is the ideal situation for socks 2 at a time. Otherwise you have to kind of like math out the math and do the grams. So next we have a whole bunch. So I talked about this on the last video too, but I'll repeat myself a little bit. These are the yarns from Apple Oak Fiber Works. So they sell these natural dye kits. If you want to learn natural dye and you don't mind shipping things from Ireland, especially if you're in the EU, you don't have to pay customs, so like do it. They do these natural dye kits. They are beyond amazing. That's where I did these from. They include literally everything you need. All you need is just like dye stuff, like your dye pot, your dedicated dye equipment. But if you've ever been curious about natural dyeing, this is like the best way to do it. So this yarn is this yarn. One of these was done by a professional person who knows how to do skeins. But this is the base I'm using. So it's 60% wool, 20% Ramie fiber, and 20% silk. So the Ramie fiber and the silk actually do provide enough strength that you don't need plastic in your sock. I have socks I've made from this, and they hold up incredibly well. So highly recommend. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 skeins. Yeah, literally, I went a bit wild because I took, 11 skeins. 11. When you first sign up to their newsletter, you get like 5% off. And I got very, very excited by this because, oh my god. And so naturally I was like, oh, well, if they're giving me money, I need to get everything. So I actually ordered every single one of their natural dye kits and enough yarn to do them all. And socks are good. You can never have too many wool socks. So I think, how long have I been talking to you for? Should I do another box? Yeah, I'll do one more box and then we will call it a day. So let me find another box. Okay, so last one, and then, yeah, I have a comedy set tonight, so I should probably, like, practice. I'm so super professional, you guys don't even know. This is a little box. I don't know what's in here. The actual boxes we got when we moved from Cork to Dublin, they were like, oh, do you want, we can do, I think it was used boxes for free or all new boxes for like, I don't know how much, but not free. We were just kind of like who wouldn't do the used boxes, you know? And so these moved us there. We gave a bunch to my friend when she moved, and then they did the move here. So we are very happy. Ooh! I need to clean this. My friend got me chocolates from Disneyland Paris, and I kept the tin. And I use this for sewing supplies! Yay! So in here, I just have some elastic, a few buttons. Ooh, these buttons, and like ribbons and some zips. Which is good because we found that zip earlier. I'll show you these buttons specifically because they're very pretty. I got these on Etsy for a project I haven't made yet, but these are vintage mother of pearl buttons from like the 20s, and you can tell they're pearl because they stay cold, which will be great for me when I'm fiddling with things. And yeah, so the only issue with fancy buttons is that they don't really, like, especially vintage ones, they don't really stand up to our modern washing methods. So what I kind of do with that is, and honestly, I think this is just something I want to, whenever I make something with buttons, it's kind of a huge pain in the ass because it involves a lot of buttonholes, and I don't like the way my machine does buttonholes, so I always do them by hand. But instead of having a row of buttons, you have a row of 2 buttonholes, and then you take ribbon and you put them on the back, and then you can attach them. And again, it's a pain in the ass. It's not a good time. But you can detach the buttons for washing. And also what's really good about that is that you can change the buttons whenever you want. And changing buttons, honestly, is one of those things that makes such a huge difference for, like, very little, like, yeah, very big impact, very little effort. And yeah, like, it's amazing. So having the option to be able to change the buttons, having different buttons for different occasions, I am so into that. I don't even know where I'm putting my sewing stuff in this apartment, so this isn't yarn, so I can close this guy up. Yeah. I have a book I haven't read yet. Another common theme in my life. I don't know what yarn this is, but it's navy. It feels like wool. So that'll go in the, looks like a maybe a DK maybe. Oh, these are just some fasteners. Nothing super fun. Fasteners in different colors for when you need them. What's in this tin? Ooh, sewing stuff. This looks to be mostly pins. There's a needle threader, tracing wheel, beeswax, needles, safety pins, a thimble. I might go through and reorganize these tins one day because I think there's a lot of repeats. Ooh, a binder! So, yeah, this is a binder that I have put all my, like, print out recipes things. I need to go through all my binders too. Ah, here we go. So this is one of my pattern binders. So like I said earlier, I can actually show you. So there's some knitting patterns in here. Even when you have, like, knitting patterns, like this one, I have the physical pattern for the beekeeper's quilt. And is there? No, there's no information on there. So I just put it in, folded up, put it in here. And one of these, or like Knit Crate RIP, I put the books in one of these so that I have the patterns somewhere. But yeah, what else? Let me see if I have a good example of one. Yeah, so this is actually the pattern for that dress that we found. I have it in here, I have the envelope in here, all the pattern pieces and the instructions all in the same place so that it's not like... Ooh, View C on here is actually really cute. It's McCall's 7120. I was making View D, but I don't know. I'm just not sure I need that dress in my wardrobe. Maybe View C for the summer, but I don't know. I would like to make all the patterns in. I like it belted. I like View E with the sleeves. I'm just not sure if I want, like, sleeveless stuff in my life anymore. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's that. It's actually a very handy way to keep patterns. Even the PDF ones, once you've cut them, you can fold them. They don't always fit as neatly, but it's just good to keep your patterns. Ooh! Fabric scissors. This is actually a good tip for scissors. I always tie a little piece of fabric to my fabric scissors. That way, everybody knows not to use the ones with fabric. That said, I think my husband is so scared of me before he uses any scissor. He will just ask, which is good. He literally is like, yeah, but it's true. You don't use it. My brother used to love using my fabric scissors. Like, I could never figure out why they were dulling so fast. And then one day I caught him. He like got freezies, and then he went down into the basement where my sewing room was. I'm just like, where are you going? He's like, oh, I use the good scissors down there because they're always clean. Apparently he used my scissors for all sorts of things. Oh, I have a plastic bag of random thread. Another tracing wheel. What human needs 2 tracing wheels? Ooh, buttonhole thread. That's good. A point turner, pins, fabric chalk. I really need to go through more beeswax. Is that? No, that is a beeswax coater. Oh boy. What is this? Seam gauge. A whole little thing of goodies. But at least I have pins. Pins are important, honestly. I didn't change my pins from the time I was like, I started sewing when I was 3. So, and I was using like my mom's and my Nona's old pins. And I remember still, like I distinctly remember when I got all new pins. I was just like, oh my god. Like pins need to be changed. If it doesn't immediately go in, like it's out. Because that can really mess up a project. Oh! Good, we have sewing books. Make Sew Mend. If you don't know Bernadette Benner, you should. This is helpful too if you need to do buttonholes. Basically, she goes through like all the nitpicky everything, and yeah, if you take the time to do things properly, yes, it takes longer, and it sucks, but it also makes a better garment. And it's like, if you're gonna put a little bit of effort in, why not put lots of effort in and have it. Aw, my ticket stuffed to Guns N' Roses. I went with my friend because his girlfriend canceled on him, and so I was just like, I'll go with you. We had a good time. I spent like probably half the concert trying to get a photo with him and Slash, and was very successful of like them in the same frame. Okay, so all my sewing magazines are in here. So yeah, I love a good sewing magazine. I read them mostly online now, except if they have patterns like Berta Style. You can't really, like, there's no point to reading it online because all the patterns are in here. I have found it in English here, so I might get a subscription to that again because I do like a sewing magazine, to be honest. And I mean, I trace a pattern anyway because you have kind of like the spaghetti patterns in the middle. If you're unfamiliar what I mean by a spaghetti pattern, they look like this because all the patterns are kind of on top of each other, but they're different colors. And it looks very, very intimidating when you look at it like that. But when you actually lay it out, it's a lot easier to trace than you would think, I promise. And again, like, I'm at the point where I trace all the time anyway. It was actually my friend Julia who was just like, yeah, like, I want to keep the pattern. So I trace all the time anyway. Why not put the extra effort in and actually get to keep my pattern? Because you're paying, like, patterns aren't cheap. So, you know, there's those. I have a lot of those in Vancouver as well. So I have a pen and more pins. And then, oh, more fabric scissors. And it may seem weird that I have multiple fabric scissors, but you always have that pair that you feel like these ones are actually my favorite ones. But, because they have a nice sharp point, so they sit really flush against the surface of the cutting surface. For me, it's the floor. But these two are also good. Sometimes these are a little heavy, and these are a lot more lightweight. And sometimes you just need a smaller pair. It's good to have multiple scissors. And that is that box. Done. So, I need to go get ready, and if you're still here, then you are a true champion. Thank you for that. Yeah, but I still have a lot more boxes, so I'm sure you'll be seeing me do this again. Because I am having people over for Easter, and I need to get these adjusted. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I'll see you soon.